Why do some people build wealth while others, even with more money, end up broke? It's not about what you know, it's about how you think. Welcome to Whispers of Wisdom, your go-to channel for audiobooks that change your life. Today we're diving into The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel, a book that uncovers the hidden behaviors and mindsets behind money success. In the next 35 minutes, you'll discover why wealth is more about psychology than math, learn surprising truths about money, and get practical tools to rethink your financial habits. Plus, we've got a challenge of the week and wisdom nuggets to make these lessons stick. So grab a notebook, open your mind, and let's explore the psychology of money together. Stay with me. This is going to reshape how you think about wealth. Welcome to The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel, a book that reveals how our behaviors and beliefs shape our financial lives. Unlike traditional finance books, this isn't about formulas. It's about the messy, human side of money. In Part 1, covering chapters 1 through 6, we'll explore the surprising truths about wealth, why luck and risk play a bigger role than you think, and how to shift your money mindset for lasting success. Let's dive in. Chapter 1. No one's crazy. Housel starts with a core idea. Everyone's relationship with money makes sense to them because it's shaped by their unique experiences. He shares a story of a tech millionaire who lived frugally despite his wealth because he grew up during the Great Depression, where saving every penny was survival. In contrast, a young investor might take big risks because they've only known a booming market. Neither is crazy. Their behaviors reflect their past. This means you can't judge others' money decisions without understanding their story. Housel explains that your birth year, upbringing, and life events, like a recession or a tech boom, shape how you handle money. For example, someone who saw their parents lose everything in a stock crash might avoid investing, while someone who saw Bitcoin soar might YOLO into crypto. The lesson? Be humble. Your money beliefs aren't universal. Here's a takeaway. Reflect on your own money story. How has your past shaped your habits? For instance, if you're a student, do you overspend because you grew up with little, or save because you saw your parents struggle? This chapter teaches us that understanding our money psychology is the first step to mastering it. Chapter 2. Luck risk. Housel dives into the uncomfortable truth. Luck and risk are huge factors in financial success, but we often ignore them. He tells the story of Bill Gates, who became a tech billionaire. But Gates had a rare opportunity as a teen to access a computer in the 1960s, when most people couldn't. Luck played a role. On the flip side, Housel shares the story of a talented investor who lost everything in the 2008 financial crisis. Not because he was bad, but because he took on too much risk at the wrong time. The lesson is to respect the role of chance. You can do everything right and still fail, or do everything wrong and still win. Housel advises focusing on what you can control, saving consistently, avoiding catastrophic risks, and staying in the game long enough for luck to find you. For example, instead of betting all your money on one stock, diversify to manage risk. Here's a practical step. Think about one financial risk you're taking, like overspending on credit cards. How can you reduce it? Maybe by setting a budget. Ask yourself, am I relying on luck or building a safety net? This chapter teaches us that humility and preparation, not just skill, lead to financial success. Chapter 3. Never enough. Why do some rich people still feel broke? Housel explores the trap of a never enough. He shares the story of Rajat Gupta, a successful CEO who turned to insider trading because he wanted more despite having millions. Greed and comparison drive this cycle. There's always someone richer to envy. Housel contrasts this with a janitor who saved modestly for decades and retired comfortably because he knew what enough meant for him. The key is defining your own enough. Housel says the real danger isn't having too little, it's not knowing when to stop. He gives an example. If you make $50,000 a year but spend $60,000 chasing status, you'll never be happy. But if you live on $40,000 and save the rest, you'll feel free. The lesson? Happiness comes from contentment, not endless accumulation. Try this. Write down what enough means to you. Maybe a comfortable home, travel once a year, or financial security. For example, if you're a young professional, is enough a $500 emergency fund? Ask yourself, am I chasing more or building peace? This chapter shows us that wealth isn't about having the most, it's about needing the least. Chapter 4, Confounding Compounding. Housel highlights the magic of compounding, calling it the most powerful force in finance. He shares the story of Warren Buffett, who's worth billions not just because he's a great investor, but because he started young and let his money compound for decades. Housel explains that Buffett made most of his wealth after age 50. Compounding works slowly, then explodes. But compounding isn't just about money, it's about time. Housel gives an example. If you save $100 a month at a 7% return starting at age 20, you'll have over $200,000 by 60. Start at 30 and you'll have half that. The lesson? Start now, even small. Consistency beats brilliance. Most people fail at compounding because they chase quick wins instead of playing the long game. Here's a practical tip. Start a small savings habit today, like $5 a week, and let it grow. For instance, if you're a student, could you save $1 a day in a high-yield savings account? Ask yourself, where can I start compounding in my life? This chapter teaches us that patience is the secret to wealth. Chapter 5, Getting Wealthy versus Staying Wealthy. Housel explains that getting wealthy and staying wealthy require different skills. Getting wealthy often involves risk-taking, like starting a business. But staying wealthy requires discipline, like saving and avoiding big losses. He shares the story of a dot-com millionaire who made a fortune in the 1990s, but lost it all by overinvesting in risky tech stocks during the crash. The key to staying wealthy is survival. Don't take risks that can wipe you out. Housel suggests a barbell strategy. Take small risks with part of your money, like a side hustle, but keep the rest safe, like in savings. He also stresses the importance of margin. Always have a financial buffer. For example, if you spend everything you earn, one emergency can ruin you. Here's a takeaway. Build a safety net. Aim to save 3 months' worth of expenses as a start. For instance, if you're a freelancer, could you set aside 10% of each gig for emergencies? Ask yourself, am I prepared to stay wealthy, not just get wealthy? This chapter teaches us that survival is the foundation of long-term wealth. Chapter 6, Tails, You Win. Housel introduces the idea of tails. Most financial success comes from a few big wins, not consistent, small gains. He shares the story of venture capitalists. Most of their investments fail, but a few, like an early bet on Google, make up for all the losses. This applies to your life too. Most of your financial gains might come from a single good decision, like buying a house that doubles in value. The lesson is to take enough shots to let the tails work for you. Housel advises diversifying your efforts. Try different investments, learn new skills, and meet new people. But also be patient. Big wins are rare. For example, you might try 10 side hustles, and only one, like a blog that goes viral, pays off big. Try this. Take one small shot this week, like learning about a new investment or starting a small project. For instance, if you're a student, could you start a YouTube channel on a hobby? Ask yourself, where can I take a smart risk? This chapter teaches us that wealth often comes from persistence and a few lucky breaks. Stay tuned for part 2, where we'll explore how to use money to buy freedom and happiness. Now let's get practical with our challenge of the week. This week, I challenge you to define your enough and start a small savings habit. Here's how. Take 5 minutes to write down what enough means to you. Maybe a $500 emergency fund or a simple lifestyle. Then commit to saving $5 this week toward that goal, like skipping a coffee and putting it in a savings account. Why this challenge? Housel says knowing enough stops the endless chase, and small savings compound over time. It's a simple step to financial peace. Share your experience in the comments. What's your enough, and how much did you save? I'll reply to my favorites. Let's rethink money together. Welcome to our Wisdom Nuggets segment, where we share bite-sized insights from the psychology of money to spark your financial growth. Here are 3 powerful quotes from part 1. Everyone's money decisions make sense to them. Takeaway: understand your money story to master it. Wealth is about compounding. Start early, stay patient. Takeaway: time is your greatest asset. Know you're enough to find financial peace. Takeaway: happiness comes from contentment, not more. That's a wrap on part 1 of The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel, right here on Whispers of Wisdom. You've just learned why wealth is about psychology, not math, and how luck, compounding, and knowing enough can transform your money mindset. Isn't it eye-opening to rethink money this way? I want to hear from you. What's one money habit you're changing this week? Drop it in the comments. I'll reply to my favorites. If this episode shifted your thinking, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications for part 2, where we'll explore how to use money for freedom and happiness. Share this with a friend who needs a money mindset reset, and follow Whispers of Wisdom on X and Instagram for daily inspiration. Keep rethinking money and keep whispering wisdom to your soul. See you in part 2.